I'm the Realtor Evan, and we're here for another week to talk more about real estate. As always, favorite topic real estate, real estate, real estate. Let's buy those homes, let's buy those investment properties, and let's make some money. So, what we're going to talk today about is title and title insurance specifically. Now, there's a lot of information to cover when it comes to title and title insurance, but I want to go over the basics and the understanding of what it is and what is meant by when you're buying a house and you buy title insurance and you get title insurance. A lot of people don't really understand the detail of that, so we're going to cover it on a very high surface level. We're not going to go into a lot of detail here, but I do want to make sure that it is a topic that we cover because it is a topic I get a lot of questions on. And it's actually quite important to know when you're buying a house what it really incorporates. Let's talk about it for a minute. Title. So title is the insurance that you buy in order to protect you as the buyer, to ensure that this is your property. So what does that mean? I, Evan, want to buy a house from Joe. Joe's telling me that he owns the property and that it covers this particular square area, and it extends from the street all the way back to the other street, and from this property line to that property line. And all of that information is obtained by me, and now I want to buy that property. So when you buy real estate, you're buying actually that land, anything attached to the land shooting straight up into the sky, and anything attached to the land going down into the all the way down into the ground. All of that is technically the land that you are buying. So you want to make sure that when you buy that land, you're actually buying all of that land. You're buying from point A to point B, from south to north, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're buying from south to north, from east to west. You want to buy all of it. How do you do that? How do you make sure that you are buying that area? That's where title comes in. Now, the description of your property that you're buying, you might understand it as 123 Main Street. But in reality, there's actually a much more defined description of a property. It's a legal description of the property, and it explains either the exact coordinates or the measures of the property as it is laid out on a particular map, so that you can fully understand where your property lines are, where 123 Main Street actually represents. And title goes back and checks to make sure that everything in this area, from east to west and north to south, is actually going to be included. In some cases, there might be what's called easements, where other people have the rights to use your land. Remember, we said it goes all the way up to the sky. So maybe there are electric cables power company needs to hang in order to get you your electricity. They might have easements to use. There may be some sewer lines that may require some easements. May have a neighbor that has to access part of your property in order to get to their property. So all of those things come into play when establishing who owns what. More importantly, if I bought the land from Joe, does Joe really own that land? Was he really the rightful owner to sell it to me? So all of these things need to be checked out before you actually purchase a property. Before I, Evan, take a hold of 123 Main Street from Joe, do I actually have the right to purchase this property? Does Joe actually have the right to sell it to me? Is everything that Joe is telling me that he is selling to me actually being sold to me and only me? Is anybody else going to be able to come back and say, my name is Wilma, and I am the descendant of Joe's grandfather who he took the property from, and I actually have a legal claim to this property as well, and Joe didn't have a right to sell it to you. So I'm going to come back in 10 years and get my land from you because you didn't actually buy it. So title insurance is what makes all of this possible. They are the ones that go and check all of this out to make sure that I, Evan, can purchase this property from Joe and make sure that Wilma is not really an owner, and make sure that there are the easements that are called out. Maybe there are liens against the property that I want to make sure that are completely paid off before I take ownership of it, so I don't have the responsibility to pay them off once I become the owner. And title insurance will basically look through everything that they can find in all of the public records, as much as they're able to look at. And once they have done that and pointed out all of these things, I, Evan, will then make a decision as to whether to purchase the property. And given all that understanding and everything that they can come to claims with, and they can ascertain for the information, if I decide to go ahead, they will ensure that I have the right to buy that property at this time from Joe for this particular piece of land. Should somebody like Wilma come along and say that they had a rights to this property, the title insurance will then protect me. They will pay Wilma to go away or take care of the situation however it needs to be, in order to make sure that I can keep the property after that. So, like I said, this is a very high level understanding of what title insurance is, but I want to make sure that you understand, when you buy title insurance, it is extremely important when you buy a property that you buy title insurance, because you want to have somebody do all that work to check out that it's actually the property that you're buying. Forget about the claims going forward, which is also a critical part, but doing all that fact checking, that's incredibly important to make sure you are actually going to be able to buy this land and to buy this property. You need somebody to do that work. So make sure that you have the title insurance secured when you're purchasing a property, and make sure you understand what it actually incorporates. They're going to come back with a preliminary title report. You should review that with your agent so that you can understand what are the liens on the property, what are the easements on the property, who are the owners of the property, so on and so forth. It'll all be in that title report. It'll be all explained as to what you're buying and what you have a rights and what you're protected against. So keep that in mind when you're buying a property. If you have any questions about it, it is very complicated, so I'm more than happy to answer anything that you have, and even direct you to a great title rep that can answer questions even further and in more detail than perhaps that I can. So talk to your agent, ask me any questions you have. I'll refer you to a title rep. Whatever it is that you have a question on this topic, make sure you get it answered before you purchase the property, because it is extremely important. I'm the Realtor Evan. I hope to see you next time.